we've been experiencing something in America for the past 3 years, almost entirely without exception. It's been dismissed, or it's not been mentioned by the mainstream media. The Republic of the United States of America is going through a spiritual reawakening. We are now becoming more cognizant of the role of God and his divine providence within America. We've always been there, but we've not been so out there, if you know what I mean, so present and so vocal. Last weekend, there was a huge prayer gathering on the Mall at Washington, D.C. Franklin Graham and many others headed up an incredible event. Hundreds of thousands of people. Not a mention of it, or at least hardly any mention of it in the mainstream media. The power of prayer, the belief in God and his divine providence. We're now more apt than in years and decades past to acknowledge God and his divine providence in the daily life of America. It hasn't really been like this for quite some time. We've become comfortable admitting that the truth that divine providence has called Donald Trump to be president at this time, and because we're facing these issues, and that he, as president, has been given 3 nominations to the Supreme Court of the United States. It's as if God is reaching out directly and saying, I'm trying to do everything I can for you to help you get your republic back on track. Trying to help you not lose what your founders and your framers set up for you and left for you to tend. None of those things are coincidences, ladies and gentlemen. The fact that Donald Trump is president and the fact that he's had 3 nominations to the Supreme Court. Not coincidence. God, throughout our salvation history, has called imperfect people to accomplish great things. It's common for God to call people who are weak in faith to become great faith-filled leaders. Just look at King David. He was far from perfect. Moses had his issues. Clearly, God's call of Donald Trump to the presidency has yielded a transformation within Trump himself and within us by virtue of witnessing Trump's unabashed support of Christianity, Christian communities, the hand of God actively involved in America, his bringing to the forefront of the presidency prayer in the Oval Office, in meetings that he holds. It's been decades since a president has done that openly and in public, on television or in the public square. Divine providence is giving us every chance to save our republic from the Democratic Socialist Communist Party, which is no longer a Christian party, and it's no longer an American party. Now, people's jaws will drop open. Well, of course they're not a Christian party. We're not supposed to have Christian parties in America. There's this entire separation of church and state. Read Thomas Jefferson. Well, that's all taken out of context. Of course, Thomas Jefferson and the rest of the framers and the founders wanted God, religion, ethics, and morals taught, discussed, and believed in within our republic. Finally, President Trump's opponent in this particular upcoming election is not Joe Biden. President Trump's opponent in this upcoming election is voter fraud. There's no way on God's green earth that Biden is leading in the polls or would stand any normal or usual chance in winning this election. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, look, evidence of the obvious is sufficient, or at least it should be. Evidence of the obvious: Trump's rallies, boat parades, car parades, horse parades, thousands of people lining up on the streets when he approaches a town for one of his rallies. Tens of thousands in and tens of thousands who couldn't get in, waiting and watching on the big screens outside. Evidence of the obvious is sufficient, and nobody sees anywhere near those numbers at a Biden rally. He's not capable of drawing more than 50 people. I'll give you 100 tops at any of his events. The debate last night proved that the American people are behind President Trump. Look, President Trump wanted to debate last night. He came prepared to absolutely dominate. And he did dominate. He's an open book, and he's opened up for us a new style of debate. Whether you like it or not, he's opened up a new style, an aggressive style of debate. Control the tempo, control the topics, and dominate the discussion. I mean, what's wrong with that? People on the other side, oh my God, he was so rude. It was so unpresidential. Help us. You know, it was crazy, the meltdown that the left had and people that don't like the orange man. He wasn't coming prepared to be polite, ladies and gentlemen, nor should he have. He wanted to control the discussion. He wanted to control the debate. And he's exactly the kind of leader I want at the table when we're dealing with international leaders of other countries, to be that passionate and to control the discussion and the debate and the negotiations. I clearly don't want who I saw last night, Joe Biden, who looked like he was two steps out of the grave. Pasty white skin, dead man debating, dead man walking. Chris Wallace, who's a registered Democrat, would have not asked, and if he would not have asked leading questions, and if he would not have asked questions that were intended to elicit an emotional response rather than substantive answers on policy and plans, we all would have been better off. Some commentators and pundits today have said, America lost last night. America was clearly the loser in the debates. I respectfully disagree. I think America was the winner last night. I think that we saw Trump on fire, dominating a discussion, much as he should, dominating an opponent, and taking charge of questions that were not geared to give him a fair shake at giving substantive answers. But in my view, the people won because of the dichotomy between Trump and Biden. I think we saw it clear. I mean, Trump and Biden's differences could not have been made more clear. And the bottom line is that we need President Trump at the negotiation table with China, North Korea, Russia, whoever, Canada, Mexico, whatever. Americans won last night because they got to see how damn aggressive and forceful Trump can be. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Don't let decorum and manners, good manners, throw you off track here. When it's appropriate, Trump can be polite and well-mannered. Last night, the questions weren't designed to give, as I said, substantive answers. They were designed to elicit emotional responses. I guess that if I were to give President Trump one suggestion, it would have been that when they were talking about the conversation turned about Beau Biden, the son that Biden lost to cancer. I think that Trump would have been better served if he would have seriously and calmly said, Joe, I appreciate Beau's service to our military and to this country, and I'm sorry that you lost him. And then go right back in to the domination tactic that he had employed. I think that if he just takes a step back once in a while to recalibrate his demonstration of being sensitive, he becomes a winner, more of a winner. That would have probably won over the entire night for him with that one sentence of concern. So the only way that Trump loses this election is by voter fraud. We've got to pray for an absolute blowout, landslide, and just undisputed victory for President Trump. I think that we'll see it. I think that some of the surprises are going to be these. I do think that any one of these things are possible. I think, number one, California will probably go Republican. Governor Gavin Newsom has initiated so many kook mandates, decisions, and shutdowns out there that he's driving everybody either out of California or to the Republican Party. You know, outside of San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Hollywood, California is a red state. I think the same thing may be true in Oregon. I feel more strongly about it in California. But, you know, you think average and common folks in that state, they don't, if you think that they don't blame the communist, socialist, Democratic Party, you're wrong. They see the carnage going on in Portland. They understand it's their leadership and government, which is Democratic, Socialist, Communist, and they don't want any more of it. So I think that you're going to see people, I don't like the orange man. I don't like the way that he behaved at the debate. Boy, he was rude. But boy, I don't want my city to burn anymore. And I'm going to vote for him. That's what they're thinking. That's what they're thinking. And I think that's what they're going to do. And I think that with that kind of mindset among the people, I think we're going to hold on to the Senate. And I'll be darned if I don't think that we're going to take back the House. I just think the entire year of 2020 has been the best commercial for President Trump than I could have ever dreamt or that could have ever been produced. Riots, mobs, the burning of America, rioting and looting, murder, arson, rape, and anarchy. And the new Democratic Socialist Communist Party has not condemned it. In fact, they bail out the felons and the criminals so they can go do more burning. And the common, average, logical, critical thinking American, whether or not he or she is a Republican, Democrat, or Independent, looks at all of that and they go, that's not the America I want. Trump may have his issues, and I might not like the guy myself. But as far as a leader goes and getting us out of this BS, he's the guy. Clearly, it's not Biden. Biden doesn't even think he's going to be around for two more years. So look, everybody, we continue to have a pack of blessings on our back. I would like that we pray for President Trump and his family. Keep him safe, dear Lord, please. Ladies and gentlemen, take inventory of that pack of blessings on your back. It's abundant and it's glorious. And may God continue to bless you, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you. Please subscribe to this program on your favorite podcast platform and on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Parler, and CloudHub. And may God continue to bless you. And may he please continue to bless and guide the United States of America. Good day. Ladies and gentlemen, hi, Doug Billings here on the right side. You know, it's not every day that we here at the program get to meet someone who rubs elbows with American heroes. But we've done just that, and he's become a friend of the program, and we're grateful for it. The Commander's Artist, otherwise known on Twitter as the real Mad Dog 58. Make sure you look him up and give him a follow on Twitter at the real Mad Dog 58. And more importantly, perhaps look him up on the web, www.thecommandersartist.com. He's the personal artist of General Mike Flynn. Personal friend of the general's is a personal friend of mine, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm flattered that he's become a friend of the right side. You can check out his artwork just over my right shoulder. The right side logo that we use at the beginning and end of every program. There's one of me up there in my Revolutionary War garb, protecting the Republic from intellectual liberal immaturity. And one of Donald Trump up there as well. We love it. My chosen leader. TheCommandersArtist.com and the real Mad Dog 58 on Twitter. Mad Dog, Commander's Artist, thank you, brother. Thank you for your friendship, for all you've done for the show. Cheers.